Today, we're diving into something pretty wild. It's the teachings of a spiritual movement called Lifechanyuan, and they make a claim that's, well, it's a bombshell. They say the God of the Old Testament is actually Satan. Yeah, you heard that right. So we're going to unpack their writings and figure out how on earth they get there. Let's jump in.
I mean, just let that quote hang in the air for a second. This isn't some small theological debate. This is a total 180-degree flip of one of the most central figures in Western religion. And for Lifechanyuan, this isn't just a side note, it's the foundation. Everything they believe is built on this single, staggering idea.
All right, so how in the world do they even begin to make a case for this? Well, it all starts with a radical reinterpretation. They basically take the Old Testament apart, piece by piece, to argue that the God described in its pages just doesn't match up with who they believe the real greatest creator is. The whole argument really boils down to a comparison. It's like they've created a job description for the authentic greatest creator. They lay out all the qualifications, and then they hold up the God of the Old Testament and say, nope, doesn't meet the criteria. They argue he completely fails the test. And here's that checklist I was talking about. According to them, the true greatest creator has to have these 8 characteristics. They have to be unique, formless, neutral, mysterious. They must have perfect justice, mercy, supreme power, and absolute wisdom. This is their ultimate measuring stick, their yardstick for divinity.
Okay, so this is where it gets interesting. They actually use the Bible against itself to make their point. They say, look, Genesis says, let us make man, plural, so not unique. Then it says, in our image, which implies a form. They point to the plagues on Egypt as a sign of injustice, the killing of the firstborns as a lack of mercy, and they even argue that a God who gets angry can't possibly have absolute wisdom. It's a fascinating strategy, using the text's own words to try and disqualify its main character.
And then comes what they see as the smoking gun, this passage from the New Testament. Think about it. Satan takes Jesus up a mountain and offers him all the kingdoms of the world. The logic from Lifechanyuan is, well, pretty straightforward. How can you offer something you don't own? So if Satan owns the world, he must have created it. And if he created it, then the creator God of the Old Testament has to be Satan.
So once they've established this, let's call it a cosmic conspiracy, the teachings then shift their focus inward. They start looking at us, at humanity's problem. If we're all living in a world run by a deceptive creator, what does that actually mean for our everyday lives and our suffering? The writings describe life as a tragedy, full of pain, struggle, and moments of happiness that just disappear. But then they pose a really direct question. Whose fault is it? Who is responsible for all this? And the answer they give is us. It's our fault. The idea is that all our suffering is self-created. It's all about karma. You reap what you sow, right? So every bad thing that happens to you is basically a debt you're paying off from a past action. The buck stops with you. Complete personal responsibility. And to really hammer this point home, the text makes this direct comparison between humans and animals. Look at this. When you boil it all down, our basic drives are exactly the same. We eat, we sleep, we have kids, we form groups, we fight over stuff. At our core, they argue, we're driven by the same instincts. So what's the difference then? What makes us human? According to Lifechanyuan, it's just one thing, noble thoughts. And what are those? It's this combination of real wisdom, selfless dedication to others, and this deep yearning for something more, for a heavenly life. Take that away, and we're basically just animals in fancy clothes. Okay, so we've got a deceptive creator, and we're all just animals acting on instinct. It's a pretty bleak picture. But, of course, they offer a solution. The Lifechanyuan path. This is presented as the only way out, the way to fix our karma and rise above our base nature. So what is Lifechanyuan exactly? Well, its stated purpose is to get you to revere the real greatest creator, to revere life itself, and to revere nature. And the ultimate goal is to elevate your, well, they call it the non-material structure of one's life, but you can basically think of it as your soul, to a place they call the heavenly kingdom.
Now, we have to talk about the founder, Shufeng, because the claims made about him are, well, they're off the charts. He's not just a messenger. The texts say he's the reincarnation of Jesus Christ, and Buddha's Shakyamuni, and the incarnation of Muhammad and Lao Tzu. The idea is that he's here to bring all religions together and, as they put it, harvest the ripe crops.
The path to salvation is laid out as a 4-step process of spiritual resurrection, and it's described in a really interesting way. First, you board the Dharma boat. That's just embracing the teachings. Step 2 is wild. You have to completely format your old consciousness, like wipe your mental hard drive clean. Then you install the new software, the values of Lifechanyuan. And once you've reached your destination, you discard the boat. You don't need it anymore. Okay, but following this path isn't easy. It comes with a very strict set of rules. This isn't just about believing something new. It's about actively cleaning up your soul to get it ready for what's next. I gotta say, I appreciate the directness of this. One of their main texts is called, "Frankly Speaking, You Cannot Go to Heaven." No mincing words there, huh? And it does exactly what it says on the tin. It gives you a massive list of all the things, big and small, that will absolutely bar you from entry. And the list is specific. I mean, really specific. You've got stuff you might expect, like liking to get angry or always thinking you are right. But then there's being unwilling to clean the toilet. Or this one, only loving one person instead of everyone. Even having unresolved debts can keep you out. It's incredibly detailed. And it's not just about what you do, it's also about what you are. The teachings identify 20 specific stains that have to be scrubbed from your soul. These are the deep-down impurities holding you back.
And you can see some of the big ones here. Things like jealousy, anger, selfishness, greed, arrogance. Each one of these is described as a poison for the soul. They're like spiritual anchors, weighing you down and making it impossible to ascend.
So, when you put it all together, all these rules, all this talk of stains and purification, it all comes down to this one simple but incredibly difficult idea. The kingdom of heaven has a strict door policy. Only those with pure and beautiful souls get in. That's it. It's the only requirement, and it's non-negotiable.
And that's really what this whole system leaves you thinking about, isn't it? It pushes you to ask a question that goes way beyond just Lifechanyuan. What does it actually take to create a perfect soul? And maybe even more to the point, who gets to decide what perfect even means?